It's high noon on a Tuesday. That means it's time for another episode of Let's Talk Local. Today, we're talking piano trends with Mr. Tim Paul. Drew, how are you?
Good, Deke. To my right is a legend. I've listened to this man on a piano, and he will just, I'll be in the middle of a conversation with him, and he'll just start. I'm like, is he even listening to me? I don't even, right? Man of music.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, what now? What? So, in real quick, I know you're following up from our last show.
Yeah.
You did some exciting stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we had Michelle Prickett on. She runs Kids in Need here in McHenry County, and Friday we had the gala, the Kin Gala. So looking for a second bridge. They want to build that store, so we had the gala, a great silent auction, a great live auction, an absolutely spectacular night. Derek's digital DJ service was there. He and I just had a lot of fun. We raffled we auctioned off Joe and Tina from Star 105.5, an evening with them. Got good money for that.
Good.
Jim Wadelia with the Bolo Auto Museum, and Modern Day Romeos. We auctioned an even. Oh boy, it's amazing.
That must have been fun.
It was fun, and those they're such great personalities that they come up and stole the mic, and they started battling back and forth, and a bidding war got out. And I have to say, when all the smoke cleared, Jim Modelia doubled what Joe and Tina's were. So.
Well, it's kind of hard to beat riding the Batmobile.
It is.
Come on.
But just a great evening. Everybody, the board of directors there at Kin, it was at the Holiday Inn in Crystal Lake. It looked amazing. Awesome. And a lot of fun, and a lot of money was raised for Kin. So yeah.
So they're a bit closer now to their goal.
They are. Yeah, absolutely. Just blessed to be able to MC that for 216 Creator Studios, and it was a good time.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we appreciate them even asking us to be involved.
Blessed.
That's
just
awesome.
Honored as could be.
Well, awesome. Well, so Tim, you're a man of mystery. And it seems like
international.
You have you own Piano Trends out of Crystal Lake. That's over by Nick's Pizza.
Yeah,
if you know where Nick's Pizza is. And my kids have gone there, and then some of them, two of them still go. I only have two kids. That I know of. But they go there and they take lessons. So they do lessons, and they have. You hear the word piano, but it's not all pianos. It's guitars. You've been in there, right?
Yeah.
It's an emporium.
It really is
of goodness in there.
We do a lot.
Yes, you do. You do. So let me ask you, what's the story? What's the story behind Piano Trends? How did you start?
We started way back in, actually kind of before the store opened, 1980s. Both Bobby and I, my wife, we've been in the music business our entire lives. My mother was a concert artist and a piano teacher. My father was a piano technician. Wow. I became a piano technician. My wife is an extraordinary piano instructor and a pianist as well. And so we decided to open up Piano Trends Music when we finally had too many pianos in our garage. It just got to be, it got to be a little much. So we started out we opened up in August of 1990. We had just did pianos only at that time. Then we decided we're going to do a little more. So we started piano lessons. And in fact, my mother was one of our first teachers. And of course, Bobby was teaching. And we had one other very nice lady who was one of our early teachers, Mrs. Sutton. And we operated that way for the first year or so. And then little by little, we would add on. People would ask us, well, have you got a guitar? Have you got a trumpet? So from that point, we just built and built from that point. And a lot of it was, thinking outside the box and out of, quite honestly, out of necessity as we go along and we get into the 2000s, things change and you have to adapt to those changes. So we got involved with the schools. The schools wanted us there to help provide instruments. So not only are we providing the instruments, but we also provide services. So we have a full shop as far as piano goes, as far as guitar repair, band instrument repair. We'll fix a ukulele. It doesn't matter. We'll do it. In fact, we're fixing one of your guys' boards right now too.
Yeah, they're working on one of our motherboards.
Yeah, so that's those are things that we like to do. So we like to have each department be dependent upon itself within the framework of Piano Trends Music.
Yeah. Let's talk about schools real quick.
Yeah.
So, my daughter's in band and they're pushing a store, not that they're bad or anything, but they're pushing a store that's not even local. It's a little bit of a distance away. And they didn't really make it seem like there was an option, but there is an option. Staying local, if you don't know, he does rentals, you do service, you do repairs, you do just about everything, and very cost effective too.
We do. In fact, we provide the same brand instruments, the same level, same quality of instruments, and better service, I believe, because you can walk into the store and we're going to fix that trumpet that's got a sticky valve.
That's right.
Right away on the spot.
Yep.
And I know that our rental prices have always been lower than the competition. We purposely have done that. We partnered with some good companies. We're a full service dealer for Conn Selmer, so we carry all of those brands. And our rental instruments, you don't have to worry about it. If something goes wrong with it, you bring it in. You'll walk out with a loaner while we're repairing it, and then you get it back usually within a week's time.
No, that's better than any car dealership that
I've rented a few, and they don't play music for me.
Yeah, you kind of have to know what you're doing.
And that's the cool thing. Every time I go into the shop there at Crystal Lake, is somebody's playing something, whether it's a 9-year-old or a 90-year-old, and I'm musically declined. Right, I love it. I don't understand it. And I can move my fingers on a guitar, piano, whatever, like I see happen. It doesn't sound anything right.
We could teach even you, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That should be a challenge, 21-6
That's
challenge.
right. There you go.
You know what I mean? Look at it, putting you on the spot, Nick.
Give us 6 months and we'll have you playing Fur-Elise.
Who?
Well, books. You have books.
We do.
Music
our
books.
Print music department is the largest in Chicagoland right now, and we
Wow.
carry it because we have so many teacher accounts that get all their music from us for their kids and their students as well.
That's fantastic. You also you're now partnered with us.
We are. That's a great
with the studios, and we're loving it. And you actually have a show. You've had a pre-existing show before us that we're just kind of carrying in, called Lifting Spirits Through Music. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? What made you want to start that?
We started that right at the very beginning of COVID. So at the end of March in, what was that, 2020? It seems like so long ago, yet like yesterday.
Yeah, it does.
So here in Illinois, a lot of businesses had to shut down for a couple months, and as did we. So we were able to, Bobby and I were proud of the fact that we were able to get our staff and be able to keep them working, teaching from home using Zoom or any other of the video chat. So we were able to do that. And the parents that wanted to keep their students and their kids playing, we were able to provide that service during that time. But I'm at the store pretty much by myself at that. I actually all by myself at that time. And we would do the curbside service that most businesses did during that time. Well, after the first week or so, I can catch up on everything because I didn't have any interruptions during that daytime.
So like my day was easy.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Right.
So, I would talk to Bobby every day during the day, and she would say, before you come home, why don't you de-stress a little bit? It'll make you feel better. Sit down and just play. You've got that beautiful Baldwin blue grand piano.
Cool.
Yeah. So I would sit down and just play before I go home. And it did. I felt better. It kind of cheered me up a bit. And then Bobby suggested, why don't you record that or just go live on Facebook or something at the end of the day and see, let other people hear it. So we did. One thing led to another, and we developed quite a following with it. We did cheer people up. We celebrate people's birthdays, anniversaries, special events. And so it became, it just became something that not only was fun to do, but we felt good because we were getting such great feedback that we were helping people. We had people who were going through serious illnesses that would watch. We've had people watching us from their hospital beds, and it cheered them up. And then when the staff was able to start coming back, we didn't ask them to get involved. They wanted to get involved.
Oh.
So, we've got Amy and Barb and Adam and Aldrin and Ashley are pretty much regulars. Whenever they're in at the end of the day, they jam with us, and we'll have fun. We'll have a little humor. We'll tell some dad jokes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I promise not to tell any tonight. But we have fun with it. So now we've done over 1,000 episodes of it. So it's been exciting, and now we're going to take it to that next level with you guys with 2 and 6.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. And if you don't follow them, if you go to Facebook and just punch in Lifting Spirits Through Music.
Yes.
It's got its own Facebook page. Great stuff, and you'll get the notice when they go live. And it's just, especially you guys kind of do it late in the afternoon, so it's kind of that de-stress time.
Exactly.
I really enjoy the time it comes on because I'm like,
it ends the day right.
It really does.
Yeah.
And and again, I just marvel at some of it. I'm like, well, I would never listen to this, but then you go, but if I'm listening to it, it relaxes.
Well, and
right?
so not every genre is my genre of music, right? And then like they just did the Muppets.
We did. We had a Muppet night.
And that
Muppet
was cool.
Monday.
And I was like, what are they doing? Right. And then I watched it and I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah. That was
right.
Cool. Yeah.
So I mean, listen, when they all come together, you hit a key point. There was one word in there, 2 words actually, and it's helping people. I'm a huge supporter of helping as many as I possibly can.
Yes, you are.
I think that's why we get along so well. Yeah. And you have a motto. You give us the motto.
We do. Well, the motto is it's simple, and if you live by it every day, you're going to feel better. But we say smile, be kind, and keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
So if we can bring a smile to everybody every day, that's a good thing. And if we can encourage people to be kind, the way the world is today, we need all the kindness we can get.
Mm-hmm.
And the keep on keeping on part of it actually came from my father. A month or 2 before he passed when I was just 18. I was away at school, and he had sent me a letter, last letter that he had written. And in there, I was a freshman in college. So, typical freshman at college, you're homesick. And in his letter, he's telling me, well, just keep on keeping on. And so
that's awesome.
Anybody who's going through tough times, if they can remember, just keep on keeping on. It's not always easy, but being reminded to do so helps.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. And so Lifting Spirits is you have is it every day you do a Lifting Spirits?
We do it virtually every day.
Okay.
We skip Sundays because we're home, so we'll throw a rerun on or something, but we do it virtually every day, usually at the end of the day, like we talked about. But if something happens earlier in the day, we may go live earlier. If a friend pops in, Like our friend Jerry Traxler,
Yep.
who was with us on Muppet.
Yeah,
Monday.
Jerry's a great guy.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
So he's become a regular because
Yep.
he'll be with us a couple times a month now.
Yeah.
And we have fun bantering back and forth. with
I've seen
it.
Bruce on there, your guitar guy.
Oh,
I've
Bruce
seen-
is fantastic.
Yep, your drummer is on there.
Yeah.
Yep. And so once a month, now that you're part of the studio, we're doing a big production once a month
Right.
and interviewing band members and some big names, local big names to global big names. And so stay tuned for that, folks. That's coming around the corner here too, as well as open mic nights.
Yeah, we're gonna put that together. It's gonna be fun, taking this to the next level, getting more people involved. And like you said, we're gonna be talking with some great regional music people. And it doesn't matter whether they'll be musicians or they could be a producer.
Yep.
But it'll be music related most of the time.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun just being able to sit down and chat with some of these people. We've gotten to know
absolutely.
a lot of great people over the years, and we're gonna try to bring them in.
Well, and so Derek, we met him through you, right?
Yes, Derek Purcell.
Derek Purcell, and we went to the concert at the Row.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And that was fantastic.
Oh, it's
know.
wonderful. Being board president at the Rouse Center now for several years, it's great because both Bobby and I get to work at the Row. That's kind of our second home. We're in that building a lot, but we've gotten to know so many nice, good people through that experience. And Bobby does a lot of, and in the past has been the artistic director for the National Piano Conference, which has been at the Rouse Center. But being able to work with these people and talk with these people, they're most of them are very down to earth, but they've got some great stories. So it's fun talking with them. I like to ask them, so what music store did you hang out at as a kid?
Oh,
And so so
Piano Trends.
yeah, there you go. That's
located on the
answer.
corner of. That's right. And so let's talk about open mic, because the community locally and folks too. So if you have the talent and you want to come show your talent off, this is a good way to do it, because you're going to be live on camera
Absolutely.
with a supported band behind you. And even I said once at your store, and I think it was Barb that told me, I said, well, I play an instrument and it's just a bunch of squeaks and squawks. She goes, we call that music.
That's right.
So there's no pressure to anything, but from singing to drums to guitar to flute to, if you play it,
The kazoo.
right. How do they, what do
Absolutely.
they need to do to get a hold of you to schedule that?
They can do a couple different ways. They can go right to the website, pianotrends.com, and there's links to contact us there. Or they can call us at 815-47-PIANO. So it's an easy number to remember. Or they can email us, and it's anybody at the store. It's their first name at pianotrends.com.
Okay.
So they can we're pretty easy to reach.
Right.
So I need to ask, because I'm curious. Your go-to music, right? So you're so musically. I mean, it's awesome to watch you and listen to you, but do musicians like, man, I gotta listen to death metal. That is my jam.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or is it? You know what? I don't listen to music, but I love to listen to opera. Or you know what I'm saying? So what is it for you that you go? Man,
Well, when I think death metal, I think Tim Paul.
Yeah.
I
don't know. You might surprise you.
I could be the death of metal. If that happens.
That's a good question, though, dude.
Yeah,
Good question.
It is that I listen to or play
that you listen to, like
that I listen to.
if you just are like, man, I need to hear. Everybody's got a playlist, right? So
Yeah.
what's on the top of your playlist?
Wow, it's a big playlist. Both my wife and I love the Carpenters.
Yeah.
There was a time when we couldn't admit to that,
Right, correct.
back then. But yeah, we love the Carpenters. But we're also big Doobie Brothers fans.
I love the
We
Doobie
love
Brothers,
Elton
right.
John,
Let's talk about
the Beatles. Yeah,
Elton John has always been one of my favorites.
Elton John's.
When people ask me,
Hands
I
down.
love storytellers and people who write their own music,
Mhm.
right? And as long as I can understand the words, right? But one of my big go-tos is Elton John, hands down.
Yep.
it's a
Yeah.
good go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. What about you, Deke? What's on top of your music
I'm a
list?
country guy.
Yeah.
But when I say that, I'm gonna go. I'm a Southern rock guy, right? So an Eagles,
Eagles would probably be near or right at the top of
Yeah.
our list. That would be my wife's top of the list.
yeah.
Would be the Eagles.
Leonard Skinner, all that kind of Southern rock,
Mhm.
which country music from maybe the early 2000s was. Now it's got a
Mhm.
little poppy to it. But yeah, you give me a Garth Brooks, and
Little Willie Nelson.
no, not even.
No, I'm a
not so
Willie fan.
much, but
Oh, I love Willie.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I love storyteller. Jim Croce, he's another big
Oh,
go-to.
Mm.
I just love the
absolutely.
storytellers.
Yeah.
back in
Yeah, he's
the
got a
70s.
name.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. Really, and a taxi.
I don't think I could get pigeonholed into just one or two,
It's
or
true.
even the top 10. It would be tough.
Yeah.
Tough to do that. for sure.
Right now, I really like Jelly Roll. Again, another storyteller and
Yeah.
a neat story of his own. So I kind of pop back and forth. You introduced me to Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims. Yeah, I'm a huge
you know,
fan of Teddy.
Yeah. So I at blues. I mean, come on. It really depends on the day and the
Right.
time. But
Yeah.
It does.
if it's my go-to, like when I get on my motorcycle, I'll put on a Pandora that had my Elton John station, and
Mhm.
that kind of rolls all in there.
Yep.
Yeah, there's such a wide range. I mean, I'm a huge Buddy Holly fan,
Oh, yeah.
going way
Yeah.
back, and go from one end to the other. I love Buddy Guy,
Oh,
so
yeah,
completely
yeah.
different
Right.
music,
Yeah.
Right.
played there. But it's that's the coolest thing about music. It's a language that across the world we all understand. We may not understand all the words, but the music part of it, we can all relate to it.
It's universal language.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It truly
Yeah,
is.
I love it because somebody in Uganda that doesn't speak English knows all the words to a song.
Yes, right.
It's
true.
And I sit there, and then you're like, oh, let me have a conversation with that person. They don't speak any, but they know, like
They
you
know
said.
music.
Now, when you are, because you're a piano guy, when you are listening to a song, are you focusing in on a certain instrument, like the drums? Are you the lead guitar, the piano?
I don't think personally I dissect the music that way. I'll listen to it because when I play, I learned classical.
Mhm.
So I learned classically because of my mother. There was no way around that. But I play by ear. So if I hear a tune enough times, I'm just going to sit down and play my version of it. It won't be exactly the same way as it was, an original, but it will be my version of it.
Well, that explains a lot because I've never seen this man look at music
I haven't
ever.
No.
He's just like, oh yeah, like cheers. Let me throw that out there for you. I was like, what? And so here's another question: how many instruments do you play?
Yeah, I'm going to say piano. I'm told I play piano fairly well. I play piano well enough to own a music store with my
Right.
wife.
I would have
Sure.
to say, yeah,
Yeah.
you're pretty good at it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I can strum a guitar and not know what I'm doing. I don't know what chord I'm playing. I can strum a guitar. I can make a sound on most instruments, but that's it.
That's about it?
Yeah.
So quick story. I had my father passed, and I had his accordion. So every Italian kid back in the day had to play the accordion, especially in our family. And so my father was forced to it. He hated it. He was forced to do it, and then had it. His Casaccio was on the letters on it and everything else. And I brought it in to Tim. And I opened it up and I showed it to him, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm looking. There's buttons and there's keys, and I'm like, do you play? And he goes, oh no, I don't. I'll play the accordion. I'm like, because I don't even know if this thing works. And he's like, well, here, let me see. So he pulls it out and he opens it up and he was like, like it was nothing. And I was like, and I go, Tim, I thought you told me that you don't play the accordion. He goes, nobody admits to playing the accordion. Okay. So
It's a sideways piano. So
I would have to say there's something similar.
similar.
Right?
Yeah.
Similar.
Well, my uncle was an accordion instructor in Chicago, and he
Oh, wow.
had a radio show back in the 50s and 60s, and he was a a piano player, and he died young too. But he was, I'm told by family members that I'm very much like my Uncle Ross and the way that we play, the style we play. And I've listened to some of his recordings from back then, and it is similar. It's kind of eerie. I wish he had lived longer. We would have made a great piano duo. I think.
Yeah.
We would have had fun with that. But yeah, he used to play the Chicago clubs and New York clubs a lot. So
Wow.
that
cool.
piano thing is kind of in our blood.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have something coming up together.
We do.
And you know, we're not gonna totally throw it out there yet, but stay tuned. We got some new studio stuff happening, venue style, with Tim and Piano Trends. That's going to be local to Crystal Lake. I'm excited about it.
It's going to be a lot of fun as this all unfolds. There's
Yes.
a lot of possibilities and growth opportunities.
I agree.
for sure.
I agree 100%. Another thing that we're talking about, folks, and you know, you know, let Tim know what your thoughts are on this. Reach out to him, but because you know, when you go into Piano Trends, you see two giant blue pianos.
Very
right?
cool.
And you know, the piano instrument,
And these are Chicago Cubs blue.
it
When
would
we say blue,
well,
right?
They are kind of the same team
Yeah.
colors. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cubs fan next to me because I
Yeah.
heard his ringtone earlier and
Yeah.
it was "Go Cubs Go."
That's right.
So I'm gonna assume that. But so because the world has changed so much, you know, a piano is a giant piece of furniture, and you know, sometimes having it at your house is obstructive to whatever the room is. Do you remember when you had a dining room where it was formal and you had a china cabinet, a formal dining table? Nobody touched that
That's right.
until formal days, right? Well, those have kind of gone away and stuff like that. And people who play the piano will buy a piano, but Piano Trends loves to stay with the trend. So there's customization coming into the near
Exactly.
future, right?
You're exactly right. You're going to be able to you can pick what you want that piano to look like.
That's right.
In fact, we can make it a fancy dinner table, just like on the
Sure.
Clampets, have, instead of a pool table, we'll have a piano and we'll
that's right.
up.
You could
Yeah.
customize it up or leave it as a piano.
Mhm.
Kent and I are working a deal to where we can have it wrapped in the style that you want it to be.
Mhm.
And so it's a conversation piece as well as a musical instrument. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Feel free to reach out to Tim about that if you have any questions or interested in seeing some of these designs or talking about having a custom one done. We'll be happy to put that together.
Or
Exactly,
if you're looking for a great holiday gift, a grand piano makes quite a statement.
Oh, it does.
It does.
So I got to bring this up though now too. On your website, let me see if I can share this here. On your website, there's this big thing that says NAMM Top 100 Dealer. I think it says, right? Talk to me a little bit about that because it seems to be impressive.
It is.
We're extremely proud of that. This is the second time that we've been awarded this. And what happens is NAMM, which is the National Association for Music Merchants worldwide, it's our trade organization. And if you make the top 100, we're talking you've been selected as one of the top 100 dealers internationally.
Wow.
Because they've got a whole list of the 100 winners. And there's winners from Germany. I think there was one in Indonesia. There was one in Africa. So it's all over the place. And Bobby and I are especially proud of it because we credit our staff with making us that way. They allow us to do the things that we have to do. From every one of our teachers, which we've mentioned a few, and our staff members, they are what make us run. And our community, a big reason is that's because they see the community support that we get, and they see what we do reaching back out to the community. And Lifting Spirits Through Music did have a lot to do with this particular award this past year.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because we also know there are several other members of the top 100 that we know that are friends of ours that, you know, have stores elsewhere in the United States. So when we get together at the NAMM show, you guys will be there with us.
Yep.
We will, they'll have a night where they have a presentation for it, and a nice gathering. So it's quite an honor. We're very proud of it. Yeah.
And so to me, again, Marvel, because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, you know, in the Midwest or whatever, right? Is because I've never been outside of these here United States, but that's worldwide. The top 100.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm guessing that there's more than 105 music stores worldwide.
There's actually 111.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a ton, right? And this is again talking local. This is right in our backyard.
Yep.
Or our front yard if you're in Crystal Lake. Now it's right by Nick's Pizza. Right.
Yep, right around the corner, and Nick's Pizza. We go there for lunch quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that's it. Whoops, we weren't supposed to say that,
Yeah.
but we do.
It's okay.
So it's okay.
That's right.
You can throw out an address
Yeah,
if you want.
yeah, 35 Berkshire Drive. It's the corner of Berkshire and Virginia Road.
Yeah.
We're in the Coventry Family Shopping Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
You come visit us and go down to Dairy Queen and get an ice cream. And
Yeah.
come on back. But I gotta warn you, if you pop in, you're likely to hear some music going on. So
Well,
it's gonna happen.
that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing I find interesting, I guess, is again, I've spent some time there. You know, when I was a kid, and you know, you had to go to, you know, you had your weekly lesson, right? It was like going to the dentist, right? But I've sat in your store, and the students and of all ages, not just kids.
That's right.
Come in and are just glowing.
They're glowing. They're smiling.
Excited
Yep.
to come in and create music. And I just sit there and I'm like, so cool.
Well, it's not a like don't touch that
Right.
type place, which I can easily. Some of these instruments are really expensive, and I can see why a store owner would be that way. But it's so welcoming. It's so warm and fuzzy. It's family oriented. Everybody gets greeted with a smile. I'm sure even Tim has a bad day, and he still will put on a smile. To anybody that wants to
keep on keeping on.
keep on.
Yeah.
Right. And so getting back to NAMM, so you participate pretty big into this as well, as we have talked into the green room prior. You know, they're reaching out to you and you're organizing stuff with them, so you're a pretty big deal over there.
Yeah, it really is, and we appreciate giving back to NAMM because they've given so much to us. You know, when we were starting out, that was one of our resources to get better, was to go there. And I learned a lot. Bobby learned a lot just from attending sessions ourselves way back when. They have literally hundreds of sessions and classes that will be going on for music retailers and musicians at this trade show. And I've been doing these sessions now for a little over a decade with them. And we usually do different topics. We've done topics about live streaming on Facebook.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit this year show, and you guys are going to join me there.
That's right. We appreciate you
yeah.
and the invite.
Very
You know,
honored.
It's,
very honored.
it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun thing. And it's us giving back to the music community. And in turn, we will benefit from doing that as well.
And folks, you'll be able to see that at 216 Creator Studios. We will be putting on a special lifting spirits through music, and then showing a lot of the clips of what we've done out there.
Exactly.
And some of the interviews and some of the musicians, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, wait till you see the people we're going to see. It's going to be this. There's some of the best musicians show up to this show. We run into Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
You know, he's there almost every year.
But,
Wow.
excuse me, sir. Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm gonna
or
go-
did he run into you? Sorry.
I knew that was coming.
Well, we were going. But we might
I don't think you'll be allowed in now.
That's
right. So you know, just like any show, we need to get paid. So I want to throw out our sponsor today. Today's Let's Talk Local is sponsored by DCCS, business resourcing specialists, single point of communication, single point of contact for all of your business needs, anything from insurance to academy. If you're looking for internet, these are the guys to reach out to. If you're looking for cost analysis to afford a new product, these are the guys to reach out to. Go ahead and hold your phone up to that QR code there, and it'll bring you to their website. Go ahead and fill it out. If you mention that you saw this on 21/6 Let's Talk Local, you will get a free consultation and a 10% discount. And thank you for DCCS sponsoring our show.
GoDCCS.com.
That's right. GoDCCS.com. Or info@GoDCCS.com.
Yeah.
If you want to email them. Awesome. So I think, have we covered all the bases with our mystery man?
Yep. We're pretty close. So the question that I have is, what's next for Piano Trends?
That's a great question. Now I got to come up with a great answer.
You guys didn't nothing like putting them on the spot, Deke.
No, part of it is going to be what we're doing, working with you guys.
Yeah.
And we're in the talking stages of exactly what that can develop into. But we want to definitely do more podcasting programs, and we want to do recording and make it possible for the kids in town to have access to things that normally they wouldn't have. And we just want to continue the learning environment. We're always looking at building our lesson programs and making it better and giving more options. As it is now, it used to be everybody would come into the store for their lessons, and that worked out great. But one of the benefits that came out of COVID, and I hate to say a benefit, but something that we learned from COVID is that we can also teach from home, and the kids can learn from home. So now, it has been in the past where if a child wasn't feeling well, there's no lesson that week. They stay home. Well, now, as long as they're feeling okay, but they don't want to spread germs at the store. So the teacher can go into the studio, log in, and boom, they'll still be able to give them that lesson and work with them. So, things like that evolved. So we're always looking for the next thing that's going to evolve into our program. Wow.
Well, and too, I think the fact that we'll have capability of recording full bands,
right,
which will be a thing, and having people from Piano Trends helping us create commercials, utilizing the music in the background, and there's a lot to it. So I think, to answer your question, to help him with that answer is leveling up to what today's society's trends are and being able to help as many people doing it as possible. It's great. It's a win-win.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
The big key to remember, I think, for anybody, for the best advice that could give anybody, and it has served us well over the years, is give back as much as you expect to get. And it's all about community. If you love your community, which we do, and if you're involved in your community, which we are, your community will support you. And I think that's a key thing that a lot of businesses might forget sometimes.
Yeah.
We've been involved with the Rouse Center since it became the Rouse Center. First as just supporters. The first thing that we ever donated to the Rouse Center were probably a dozen music stands for their pit orchestra at the time. And that was back in the year 2000. And then we joined the board, and we've been active there ever since. And giving back that way has been rewarding to us. And it's just promoting the arts in our community. Most communities don't have anything like the Rouse Center in their communities.
That's so true.
We do. And it's important to support that. And so our business supports the Rouse Center. The Rouse Center has also been good for our business too, supporting us back. So it's always, any win-win situations you can create is good for your community.
Yeah. And I think the real neat thing here in 2024 is the ability for Piano Trends to be just an incredible outlet for creativity, and of all genres. And I mean, you can go in there And that's why I like what music store did you hang out at? Now we're in there and people are just walking in like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm in this band or I'm doing this, and they'll pick up something and play a couple licks or whatever, and you're just like, this is incredible.
I
Right?
know. Yeah.
But with the new space that you're working on, there will be room for spoken word. There'll be right. I mean,
Correct.
If you are
Absolutely.
talented, if you're a content creator, if you are someone who wants to change the world, as Piano Trends is doing through lifting spirits through music.
Mhm.
Man, what a great
Yeah.
a great place.
That's why this is a good
Yeah.
good marriage, because we are, you know, with the Creator Studios, we carry a model that's a
Mhm.
little bit unique and an a la carte system. And working with you allows us to do the next local battle of the bands.
Exactly.
Allows us to
Yeah.
create audiobooks for people. It allows us to do voiceovers, amateur movies. I mean, it's endless possibilities.
You know
It
what?
is.
Murder
It's-
mystery with live music.
I love it.
Yeah, that's cool, right? Because those are real big podcast things. So
Yep.
if
Yeah.
there are creative writers and you have a murder mystery podcast
That's right.
and you have the sound effects in the
I have a
background,
lot of minor chords that
All
will
right.
work just right for that.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well,
Okay.
and I mean, the old, we were talking in the green room a little while ago about an old radio show and bringing one of those back. And, you know, he might have the saw. where
Everybody's
he's
gotta
like,
pluck their nose for that one.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
The shadow knows, right? So there's like, it's endless possibilities.
So maybe we could rewire the old microphone up behind your head there and use that.
It's haunted, but we can't.
It is.
Right. It's got a mind of its own.
That's right.
Sometimes things happen with it, and we
That's
don't even realize
Yeah.
it.
It's not even in the same spot it was when we started.
That's
Yeah,
right.
when I'm in
Right.
your warehouse, I expect to hear pianos play and nobody be in
You
there.
probably will.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I say that every time I go in there. I'm just waiting for something to be like dun 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 dun. All right. You know,
I
dun,
guarantee it will now.
Yeah, way to put it out there. He'll have it rigged that way.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, my mother and father-in-law have a player piano from the early 1900s, so it has the
Mhm.
scrolls. So
Sure.
they have gone online and gotten all these scrolls, and
Hmm.
I will tell you, and it's all 1920s, 1910s, right, 1930s,
Yeah.
and
Flapper music.
it is,
Mhm.
and we will all sit around and just somebody will pump that thing and just for hours.
It's good
listen-
exercise.
It
too.
is
Yeah.
too, but we'll just listen to this, and my mother and father-in-law sing the songs.
Hmm.
I mean, literally, we'll get 8 people around just listening and watching, and we're laughing and having a good time. It's amazing, which that's not on my playlist, right? 1930s music.
Sure.
They
But
had country back then, though.
they did.
Yeah.
Not Western, but
Not
country.
Western.
But it is such a cool, and you, I think, have a couple of player pianos or
We
one.
do.
Yeah.
And it goes the full range. Now, the new player pianos that we put together, they operate off of your cell phone.
Did you?
So
wow.
there's
Really?
thousands of songs right there, and you don't
Wow.
see any box on the piano. It looks just like a
Yeah.
regular piano, but it's pretty amazing.
That is
Pretty
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
But it's, and I always said, I go, listen, if the time comes, I want that and all those rolls. I mean, they're old paper rolls.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing. But it's a cool thing. But there's so many memories that are built around it now for my family.
We actually have a shelf of those paper rolls
Do you
in
really?
the store because every once in a while somebody still comes in and wants some of
I
those
didn't know
rolls.
that. Next
Yes.
time they're in
There
town,
you
we'll
go.
stop
We'll
by.
pull them out for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now I have an old Victrola that was left to me
Nice.
as an heirloom. Still works perfect condition. It's the cabinet one where you open up the top, which are the speakers,
Yeah.
right, and the bottom carries where you put all the records. Now the records are like an inch and a half thick.
Right.
They're old and thick, and my mom had every single record made for Victrola, and they're in there. So when my oldest got to see it for the first time, I cranked it up and I put let the wheel go. It sounds like a squeaky wheel, like a brake system almost.
Yeah.
And then I put the needle down on the record, and it was, you know, my daughter was like, it's cool that it works, but it's creepy as hell. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
But my mother was named after one of the songs on one of the records, Barbara Ellen. So that's why it's dear to me to keep it and the record. But it does. And I think what I'm going to do
might be a nice display at the new space.
I'm going to bring it to the new space. Yeah, because really I don't have room for it. And I don't want to just collect dust in storage. I'd rather it be on view, you know. So we'll be bringing that by for sure.
Be cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is awesome.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Tim, thanks for coming to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I enjoy your partnership. I enjoy, having you here at our studio, and keep on keeping on with Lifting Spirits.
We'll do that.
We'll be definitely by to do a couple productions once a month for some of the bigger interview ones that you line up and whatnot. But so stay tuned, folks, for that. Coming to you from 216 Creator Studios, I am Drew Cappuccino Casaccio. We have in the booth over there, the man behind the curtain, we have Kent Deke Jones.
I always wave.
He's waving. Nobody can say, there you go. And to my right, the magnificent Tim Paul. Thanks for coming today, Tim.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Okay, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time.